Yeah, you need to make
If it
some
don't make
games.
sense,
Don't shut it, yeah.
If it don't make muscle, it don't make sense, man.
God,
That's what
don't
I'm
be a
saying.
faggot.
Brandon, say something, bro.
Yo.
But talk like you would in the podcast, man.
I'm talking like I would in the podcast.
Okay, Dave, talk like you would in the podcast.
I'm talking like I would in the podcast.
I can't really talk right now.
Talking like I would in the podcast, yo.
I can't really talk right now.
All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to our first podcast. My name's Stuart.
Oh, I'm Peyton.
What's up? Brandon.
Davis.
Yo, what up? I'm Jared. And I'm Dakota. Let's go.
All right. Yeah.
Jared?
By the way, Jared is this stuffed fox that Dakota has claimed. Dakota's claimed his pet. So,
He's not.
Anyway.
It's a real fox. But whatever.
all right. So today we're going to be discussing like the negative effects of video games on society. We found an article and just kind of want to like discuss what they've.
We gotta see now. Dakota,
It's okay. We can laugh.
I'm gonna slap you, Dakota.
Dakota, you just keep dabbing.
Right on.
And anyway, and we're just gonna kind of discuss them and kind of put our viewpoint in it. Just kind of see.
Yeah.
What this article is like trying to prove and everything. So, yeah, Peyton's got it pulled up.
Yep.
So if you want to go over it,
I got you,
go
man.
ahead.
Yeah, so negative effects of video games on teenagers. Number 1, increases aggressive behavior. Violent content, you know. stuff
I
like that.
guess, but like, I feel like if you like take video games to that far, as far as making a video game something that's not actually realistic. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's just a game. If you make that affect your emotions like other people and like whatever, then you need to get that worked on. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like a personal issue. You know what I'm saying? Like
that goes kind of along with what I've heard about it. The argument used that violent video games don't make people violent. It just attracts violent people. And so it can create the illusion.
I was really aggressive before I started video games.
I agree.
And I feel like
See, that's a fair point.
it makes
It's a
me
channel.
want to play video games. How
kinda
aggressive I
take-
Yeah,
am.
like the guys that like
It's
racing
a
games are
rager.
going to play racing games. Like racing games don't make people
I just like
racing,
smashing
you know?
people.
Ah, that's a good analogy. I like that.
Yeah,
you know.
I was thinking too, what do you guys think about, like, it says, say, for the sake of argument, that it does make kids violent or whatever, more likely to be violent. Is that necessarily a long-term effect, or do you think, like, a month without playing a video game and being in society and realizing that life is real and that video games aren't, like, do you think that would reverse their effect? You know what I'm saying? Do you think it's like a permanent deal, like you play violent video games and all of a sudden you're more violent, or is it like it's just because you're in that like state of mind?
Right.
I don't know. I feel like again that's like a personal like mental thing. You know what I'm saying? So like if you take like a month off and you're still having like problems with it, then you have like a mental issue with that.
It's not the video game.
It's not the
something-
video game.
yeah.
It's like, I mean the video game. I feel like if you're like a violent person, maybe you can like strike that up. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, like video games attract violent people.
Right.
So even if they took a break off of video games, they would still be just as violent because that's just their nature.
Right. And you have to take into account too that violence is in human nature anyways. It's humans that make the game and humans that play the game. So I mean it's you know.
How bad can it be? Okay, number 2.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is a good one. I don't know how you could refute this one, but number 2 is social isolation. Another negative effect of video game is that people spend too much time playing games than playing outdoors.
There's also positives.
Yeah.
For example,
I think that
like,
one falls on the parents though.
Well,
yeah.
like at the same, like it hinders your ability to socialize to some extent to people like you go to school with and stuff. But at the same time, like you're meeting brand new types of people.
Yeah, I feel like you're just as social. It's just a different platform.
Yeah.
You're not out talking to people like playing soccer or something. You're talking to people in the game.
That is true, but just to play devil's advocate
Was
for people that like video games, 90% of human communication is through body language and subspeech. So basically, even, you're meeting new people and you're talking to them, but if you're chatting to them, then you're not getting your education as far as the subspeech goes and their body language as it relates to, what they're saying.
Might make you more awkward, or less likely to engage.
Also, people that wouldn't want to go out and like talk to people because they're not naturally social.
Yeah.
It helps them.
Yeah. They're just not like that anyways.
Yeah.
I can see both sides of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, kind of like what Dave's saying.
It's funny because one of the positive things it gave is encourages teamwork, which
True. Yeah.
And you can't encourage teamwork and also, have a bad social whatever, right? So.
Yeah, I think that the best thing to do, when it comes to that, is it gave the example going outside. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if you have a good mix of like playing video games and going outside, you know what I'm saying? Like you have a good mix of being social and playing video games. And, whatever. Even if you're like by yourself, I mean, everybody needs that like isolation, personal time. You know what I'm saying? It's just if you choose that to play video games, then that's cool. But at the same time, I feel like I feel like you need some social interaction too.
I'll tell you what.
How many people have an equal mix of both?
For me, most people are in school
right
and they go to work and they have jobs, and so even if they're not electing their time to go out and specifically try to meet new people, they're still having human interaction, and that's what they do as their hobby. So I mean, can it be a negative effect? Like Peyton said, you can't really argue and say that no, that's absolutely not an effect of video games, because it is for some people, because that's what they substitute their time for.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's most people have the ability to moderate themselves.
Right on. Another thing it says, though, is that they're less likely to indulge in extracurricular activities like reading and writing. But who's to say reading and writing is like?
I mean, if you don't like reading and writing, then you're not going to do reading and writing. You're all going to watch TV.
I mean, I'm saying how much is reading and writing an actual staple? I mean, obviously you need to read and write, and the life that we live. For the large part, but how much of like being able to, how much is doing that extracurricularly actually an advantage?
Yeah. Right, because that's what school is for. That's why kids go to school.
And the fact that it was a big deal because people didn't have anything else to do. So it's like, does it just because there's something else to do mean that? That's bad, and that what used to be
right, because back in the day everybody thought that reading and writing was bad because it's affecting your other responsibilities.
I still think it's bad.
But it's kind of the same concept. I mean, obviously there's positives of video games and there were positives of reading and writing. It's all relative.
I read an article once that it was talking about if the internet is like making people stupid because it's like they're using all their time on that, and they're not like focused on anything else.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like before the internet, they were distracted by other things too. It's like without the internet, there'd just be something else that people were blaming.
Yeah. Absolutely. I feel like that one kind of goes hand in hand with the last one, though. It's not doing. Basically social activities versus not doing other things that you could be doing.
Here, sorry to cut you off.
No, I was done.
No, number 4. I actually kind of agree with this one, so this might be fun. But it's poor academic performance. So this is, it says that it's one of the serious effects or whatever.
Well, I think we're all guilty of that one.
It can affect your performance in school.
I don't think any of us
as long as you don't let it affect your performance.
Well, but that's...
Yeah.
I think it's definitely a negative side effect of video games, and not to...
Well, I have an example for this because my first year of college, well, basically, my grades sucked. I made an A and 3 C's. So one class I did really good. It was a crypt course, but...
I was pissed.
Yeah. Well, regardless, I still passed, and I still got credit for the courses. That's all that matters in college. But, that aside, for the next 3 years, I made A's and B's, and I made, 1C on another class. So, obviously, you can still play video games and not neglect your grades.
Yeah, well, it goes back.
Like my first year of college and my last, 1 or 2 years of high school, obviously they did. But making 3 C's my first semester of college is kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back, in my case.
I'll tell you what, I know that in, you're speaking personally, whatever, but not, I don't want to name drop, but, the past year at school, both the people that I lived with, huge into video games, and that was totally cool, but one of the guys, he kept complaining all the time about how he felt like he played video games too much and that he wasn't getting his school done. And I was like, dude, then just do the school, And I'm sure he passed and everything, but the fact that sometimes learning requires you to really lock into it and not just turn something in, because a lot of times you can turn stuff in. So I think the addictive quality is definitely affects grades.
Yeah. Well, what I was gonna say is
not just grades, but how you actually learn.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
is it comes back to the personal, your personal interests and your personal priorities. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you're failing stuff, but you're spending a whole lot of hours on video games, then the problem isn't
the teacher.
Schoolwork.
It's the teacher's fault.
It's not the teacher's fault, and it's not it's no one else's fault but your own for prioritizing your time more towards that. So it's you just it's personal choice. You know what I'm saying? It's how you spend your time. So, and I get it in a way, you can get addicted to video games. It's a thing. You know what I'm saying? Even if you go to school, the whole time you're at school, you're like, man, I want to go home and play. And,
It's really...
I used to be like that, no lie, but I feel like Call of Duty. Or when I first got Call of Duty, man, dude, that was it. I would come home from school in 5 hours, easy.
Drop 5
Go to
hours.
school, dude. I would drop 4 or 5 hours. This is before I had live.
Yeah.
But anyway, I would just play Spec Ops.
You
and
played it offline, man. That's
commitment.
Yeah. But then when I got online, it was just as bad.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
I used to draw deagles on my school paper.
Oh,
I would just sit there and draw deagles all day.
Seriously?
Yes, I'm not even joking. I remember I was in music appreciation.
Probably get in trouble for
Music
drawing
appreciation.
Nowadays.
He was drawing guns on his paper.
Yeah, in my freshman year of high school.
I hate my life.
No, dude. I was just I kept on thinking about Call of Duty. I was bored.
I don't blame you at all.
Yes, definitely.
But my teacher actually played World of Warcraft. That's all he talked about.
Wow,
He told the class talking about World of Warcraft all the time.
How old were you?
That's quality
I was
education.
a freshman. I was 14.
Oh.
But
awesome.
I think as it relates to this, basically, I don't like to speak. Obviously, I have my own personal experiences, and it proves the fact that this isn't true for all cases. That it makes people's grades suffer all the time. But I still like to look at statistics rather than a case-by-case basis on things. Unfortunately, we don't have any stats regarding this, but I think overall, it does affect a lot of people's grades, and that's what they choose to focus on.
I don't think
the people that are highly involved in it.
I don't think we can't really just blame on the video games though, because it is the people choosing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's not the video games.
Yeah,
fault.
I'm saying, if Stu were to go, he's
What's that
working
emulator?
out. So if he were to work out and then stop doing homework just to do workout, you wouldn't be like, oh, it's those weights' fault. Those weights are making you do bad in school. But it's Stu's fault for not having the right priorities.
Yeah, that is
There you
true.
go.
It is a personal
so
choice.
fix yourself.
Yeah.
And it's not like the video game companies' faults either, because obviously they want to make a game that you want to play.
Right. I tell you what. I tell you what though. I didn't notice this, and I should go ahead and let it. The name of the website that has this article is Mom Junction.
Okay, so basically,
Bias source.
Okay, all right. So we're pulling our articles from the mom website.
It's the mom's fault. That's
Yeah,
what I meant.
Wow.
I didn't
Let
know.
me-
I didn't
I don't want
see
to read
that.
this article anymore.
We don't support this.
Mother. they're like, oh my god, my kid plays video games. What am I gonna do?
Yeah, well, I mean, at least there's some positives that go along with
I
it.
mean,
So it's
like-
not entirely biased.
I mean, no, it's
Come on,
not.
get it
but,
together,
yeah.
moms. Just tell your kid you can only play an hour.
But
a
you
day.
can just feel that like someone subscribed to that is like reading this, looking for reasons to be like, see, I told you, you know what I'm saying? This is facts, you know?
Yeah,
But-
Well,
critical thinking.
Dude,
lacking.
nothing came out of those.
Because I read this line.
Nothing good
'cause-
comes from them.
Because the next one, I read this line, it's teaches wrong values. And I was like, oh, maybe. So I was reading the little description, and it says, video games portray women as weaker characters. They depict women as helpless and sexually proactive personalities.
that's ridiculous.
I mean, like, okay, like,
Oh,
I mean, that's real life too. I mean,
Okay, sorry.
Like, so how's that wrong? No.
Sorry. First reaction, that's ridiculous. But okay, I feel like we're about to make some good points.
No, like, that's a fair, like, okay, like,
are we wandering into politics? Do we want to let it wander into politics?
Yes,
no,
yes,
Fine.
we do.
No, I'll tell you what,
Well, that's part of it.
because you see,
Yeah.
though, like, some video games do that. But you gotta understand, too, like, Fable does that. Fable, like,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, whatever.
Yeah.
But good.
But
video
that's
games.
like it does because the heroes aren't like that. The heroes you can play that are women aren't like that, but
Yeah.
there's women in the game because it's medieval times when that happened. And same thing like Assassin's Creed. Like
Yeah.
there's what are they called?
Well, they're just historically accurate.
yeah, it's
Which
you know,
that brings me to another topic if we want to talk about it.
Go ahead.
Is I heard that in the new COD, basically the World War II.
World War II. That's what
Uh,
it's called.
Yeah.
Boots on the ground.
COD World War II. Yeah, boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground.
Have to point that out, but basically, there are going to be females on the World War II
That you can
Call of Duty that
That's
you can
just-
play as in the multiplayer. It's apparently someone confirmed it, and basically this really liberal guy that I follow on Twitter, he's sharing it like, wow, shake my head. People will make a issue out of anything. I'm
Shake
like,
my
well, the guy is probably concerned for the historical accuracy of the game. If women are going to be playing in the multiplayer, and he basically made the point that there are some factions in World War II where women were in combat roles. I don't have any idea of where women were in combat roles in World War II. It would seem very.
they didn't tell us in school, that's for sure.
Yeah, and it would especially.
And they would have.
different subject.
And they would have.
Yeah, and I said, well, the class
Weren't they
creation in
like
Call of
cooks?
Duty is going to be, basically what happens in Call of Duty with class creation is because, you choose your character and you're that across all factions. And he said, well, it's going to be more different and diverse in World War II. I was like, well, let's hope so. Because I don't want to be playing as an American or as a Japanese person. And, I don't really want to play as a Japanese person anyway. But if I am, and they're a female character, then that's going to be historically not accurate.
Just because you prefer to play as an American because you are American.
Right.
Well, in
Not
World
be-
War II.
Yeah, well, yeah,
in
yeah.
World
Not
War
because
II,
you dislike Japanese
obviously,
people.
Yeah, obviously because I prefer.
Yeah.
No, I'm not
Let's-
racist.
let's- yeah.
No.
Let's clear that
not
up.
racist or sexist, but what you're saying is in World War II when it was going down,
Yeah.
men,
Yeah, men were
American
the one that fought.
men were
Yes,
out there
exactly.
fighting, so that's what you would want
And I
to
mean,
fight
it's in modern, it's in remastered as well. I mean, you can play as women on American
Yeah.
tees, which I mean,
They're just adding women in.
yeah. Well,
actually.
basically, it would. I wouldn't mind aside from the fact that it's purely a political move
Yeah.
that they're doing that.
Yeah.
It's not to actually be like, oh well, they're not just naively adding women to the, to a time period where women didn't fight in wars. It's
yeah,
that,
it makes sense.
it's
for
that they're
new-
doing it for political reasons.
Maybe you should make a game where you play as a woman from World War II, what they did while everyone else was fighting.
Yeah, you're back home.
Yeah.
You
You're
play as a
in the
healer.
States.
It'll be like war is
home.
going on right now. What are you doing?
You have to go to the factory and work to make money.
Well,
Cooking
women
bacon for my children.
women did work in like the medical tents and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
But-
there you go.
But they did not have.
Yeah, but that would make for a really
And to
crappy
be fair,
game.
Yeah,
too,
you're right.
And to be fair, because that's when the whole women
Yeah, what's
power
her
thing
name?
started.
Rosie the Riveter.
Rosie the
because
Riveter,
they had to work in factories and stuff
Yeah.
because all the jobs. were-
Rosie the Riveter.
I was gonna bring that
Get
up.
on
I
it.
didn't know if that was World War One or
So,
World War
so
II.
Yeah,
women did
Activa
their
or
part.
whatever.
But regardless, I don't know where we digress. But basically,
Just a
that-
van with like a pie on it. It's like a kitchen in the van.
but
Drive around. And
yeah, I saw
so
that article and I was kind of not really bummed out, but kind of confused as to why that they would do something like that
Yeah.
and compromise the historical accuracy, and hopefully they can do it without doing that.
I don't know. If
Yeah.
they
You know,
can.
that's a tough one though too. You know, being politically, well, not even being politically correct, but just trying to make everyone happy
Yeah.
as a company. Because you want consumers, and the whole point is to get people
We're
to
not
keep
gonna
buying.
make
so-
everyone happy.
well, no, but
You have to draw a line.
Yeah, but when you
somewhere.
think about it, people would have women play those games anyway. Like no woman
Yeah.
buys that game simply because there's a female character. I mean, it's not for marketing. It's
Well-
basically for agenda.
it's not for marketing as like direct sales marketing, but like what I'm saying, like we're going to do
Well,
this
yeah.
and it's going to increase our sales here. It's going to
Yeah,
be like
quality assurance.
we want people to look at our company as a thoughtful one, as one that's engaged in
Yeah, yeah,
society
yeah,
and
that's
stuff.
true. Yeah.
And I get it.
I can understand, but
Yeah.
kind of like Dave was saying, being historically accurate.
Yeah, that's the only thing that matters to me. If they can do
Yeah.
that, then
Okay.
put women in it.
But all together, I mean, they've.
But no, it would be cool though if they had a game, or they did a game or time period, like because I know in like I think it was the Civil War or Revolution, Civil War probably, or Revolution. I can't remember which one it was. One of the older ones.
One of those wars.
Some women actually.
Fought?
Yeah, because they dressed up as men and like they got through.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So if they
I'm
made
not
a movie
talking
and then like
Talking about Milan, the movie.
yeah, it's Milan. But if they made a anyways, if they made a video game about that, and then like that was kind of like a character you could play and like something you could see in the game, like in the campaign.
Right.
That would be cool because it's like that happened, and you're like, like I'm this woman. You know what I'm saying? But you want to move on?
Yeah, that's fine. Is
Yeah.
there anything else on that list?
Just shot. Yes, Mom Junction has come up with a fifth reason that video games are bad.
Ooh,
Oh, I
give it
can't
to
wait
me.
To be fair,
This
to be
one's gonna
fair, to be
spicy.
fair, they did put some good, positives, but
Oh yeah.
That's not the scope of this podcast.
We are.
no, number 5 is adverse effects on health. Excessive gaming can have adverse effects on the teen's health. Teenagers, by spending too much time playing video games, do not participate in activities that can keep them healthy and fit. It leads to obesity, muscular, skeletal, and postural disorders. Video-induced seizures, nerve compression, and numbness in the hands, elbows, and shoulders. And I think it might be safe to say that this is an extreme case scenario.
Yes.
I
Well,
added
as they pointed out,
So you
I would say that's
feeling
an
unfit?
first of all.
I added
bad?
the extreme case
Yeah.
scenario part.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Well,
Now,
as they pointed out anyway, they did mention that it was excessive gaming can lead to. So
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if you
Yeah.
play
The
3,
more
4, even
common
5
ones.
hours a day, it's probably not gonna cause those things for you unless you're neglecting.
The more common
Other
like
things.
side effects are like carpal tunnel and like vision.
Yeah.
Well,
Crazy
legit
vision.
though, isn't there like some dude that like stayed up for like 40 hours or something and like barely ate?
Yeah, well.
Yeah, but that's
he's stupid. So
Yeah,
that's
that's
that's nothing to do with video games.
That's
He's
pretty
just dumb.
I mean, really.
That's a lot to do with video games though. 'cause
Sometimes
he's addicted,
people, yeah. Sometimes
No.
people just they deserve
You can
what
be
they
a dick.
do. But
I don't.
Well,
Just call your friend and be like,
Addicted and
yo,
still
give me a
eat
burger.
food.
Like,
yeah.
Like Stu's
I'm
addicted
playing-
to the gym, but he still eats.
Well,
I have to eat.
That goes hand in hand though.
Oh, okay.
I have to.
he's addicted to eating. That's when he goes to the gym.
Anybody can go to the gym for 2 hours a day. It's for the other 22 hours in the day what you put in your body that helps you
Stu, shut up.
build.
No one cares.
I knew that was coming, dude. I knew. Like,
well, you told us to.
Don't do it.
anyway, dang, what were we just talking about? Oh, health.
Adverse
Yeah,
effects.
yeah. I think it's safe to say that can also go back. Not in all cases. Can go back to the parents.
Yeah.
Letting we're talking about young children, not
Yeah.
really adults, but
Yeah, moms.
Look, all moms who worked on Mom Junction,
well, I mean,
calling them out.
anyway,
Where are the parents?
but it's like if you let your kid sit there for a couple hours a day and eat Cheetos and play video games,
Don't hate on Cheetos.
okay.
We're not talking about Cheetos.
What are you talking about? Real gamers eat Doritos.
yeah.
Okay.
Mountain Dew.
Any-
Oh my
Any-
god, dude! No! Look, my roommate had a legit like 26-pack, man.
Of Mountain Dew? Yeah. I
Yeah,
know.
of
That's
Voltage.
all they drink.
Oh, we could
Voltage
talk about
is-
that.
He was
guy.
he was from a state where they didn't have Mountain
What'd
Dew
you say,
Voltage.
bro? You say
So
Voltage is
it's-
amazing?
Voltage
So he
is
just
amazing.
So when he gets there, he
Spoken
just
like a true
loads
gamer.
up on it, man.
Voltage
Oh,
is
that's so
amazing. I
cool.
love Voltage.
never-
Yeah, you said that before.
Anyways, what were you saying, Stu?
I know.
Yeah. Sorry.
Uh,
Adverse health?
Yeah. So it's like if you let talking about kids. Anyway, since how this is a mom junction. But anyway, if you let your kid do that, then obviously, what do you expect to happen? You know what I'm saying? Like, even when I was really little, my parents, had a Nintendo 64. And I had like a time limit on like playing Nintendo 64, and I would they would make me go outside or go do something else that's not that, So it's responsibility with the kids and the parents at the same time.
So what you're saying, Stu, is that obesity is not video games' fault; it's your parents' fault.
I mean, it can be.
I mean, genetics.
Okay, I wouldn't say it's completely your parents' fault.
Heritage,
but
that stuff.
Mom, it's your fault I'm obese.
No. Okay, one, you're not obese, and
I wasn't talking about me. I was just.
You just said me.
Well, I was.
He was being the kid.
Yeah, I was being the kid.
Direct quote.
Okay.
Easy mistake.
Sorry,
no one.
I'm a mailman. I can only do so much.
That's true. Low IQ.
Oh my god.
Anyway, okay, I know.
Maybe you weren't playing video games.
Government
I'm saying that parents have a small...
Video games made my child stupid. Headline: Mom Junction. Just kidding. That's not on here.
They have.
I'm saying
that parents.
We're gonna get sued.
The topic is no longer video games. It's Mom Junction.
Gonna get sued.
MomJunction.com.
No, I just want to say
we're digressing.
Real quick. I just want to say I'm sure this is a great page, a great website. I'm sure it helps tons of people everywhere. I'm not hating.
Very sincere.
Don't sue us.
I'm serious.
We're not going.
If you want to endorse us, that'd be great too.
Yeah. We should send this.
We want a sponsorship for Mom Junction.
We can't ask for one. But if you wanted to give us
podcasts,
one,
sponsored by Mom Junction.
Well, you saying
Yeah,
something?
Stuart was saying something.
I was just saying that the parents have a small role in that happening to their kids. I'm not saying it's completely their fault.
Oh
my god.
Anyway,
Well, if you take your kid to McDonald's 3 times a day.
Okay.
Exactly.
What mom are you? What mom are you talking about?
This is going to get
kind of extreme.
This
But
is
Hayden, all right, let's go.
going to get controversial real quick. We keep going on that road.
I was just going to add something to that, which is kind of completely different. But you're saying put a time limit on it for the parents' point of view. At what age do you cut that off and start letting them make their own decisions? Is it going to be 13, 16, 18?
I would say, it depends on the maturity of the kid too, and
never
how.
cut it off. Be like, you can only play video games for an hour for the rest of your life, Timmy. That's it.
No. Well, that's the thing is I want to say I'm no parent, but I figure that the best way to do it is to do it when it's like early, like when the kids are young. Don't give them a bunch of stuff to do video game wise, a bunch of screens and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't give them that to do. Let them go outside and play. Let them know how to do that and experience that. And then when they get a little older, monitor, like give them this is we should play about that long and encourage them to do other things. And then when they get old enough, you're like, they can make their own decisions. Then they will have the experience of being outside and the experience of playing video games instead of just having the experience of looking at a screen. So then when they'll know, like, man, I'm feeling really bad. Like, I don't know why, but I feel like, And then they'll go out and maybe they'll like say, I used to, run, do all this stuff all the time. Saying they'll try something and then they'll remember like, oh yeah, this makes me feel better. I'll do this. You know what I'm saying?
I like your system. I'm going to have a better system.
I'm no parent, but.
All right, here we go. You let them play video games, but every time they lose, you make them run a mile. That teaches them to win and to be active.
2 birds, 1 stone.
That is a really.
You're raising winners.
Low key.
Hey,
That's right. You lose a Call of Duty game, out now, mile, go.
You know what? That is.
You're
I like
sleeping
that.
outside.
I'm adopting that system when I have kids.
Low key. That's actually really cool. That's a really cool idea.
That's torture.
Just make them do
Like
push-ups.
imagine playing like
Send
a
that
League of
into
Legends game and your teammate's walking down mid-feeding and your dad walks in the room, run a mile. It's not my fault. I was like 15 and 0. He's feeding over
Be like
here.
20 push-ups or the Xbox goes off right now.
And out the window.
Class?
Who?
Your teacher?
Which one?
For
being late.
Exactly.
That's completely different.
Losing's worse than being late in my book. Don't you lose in my
What I was
household.
going to say about that, Dave, going off of you, well, like when is it time for them to like not have that limit? I would say that the older they get, then you can. I would say you kind of have to play by ear with each kid because every kid is different. But when you know and you're confident that they know not to spend their all their free time doing that stuff. Like when they know not to, you know what I'm saying, they're smart enough and they get not to, then you can just let them do what they want.
Yeah, and also too, like I said, if you encourage your kid to go out and try stuff and do stuff outside, and try to get them to say like hey dude, you want to play like for the rec team, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because the kids are gonna love that, and find out what your kid is good at early, because every kid likes different things or whatever.
What if I'm good at video games?
No, yeah, right.
Like, well, then you cannot spend that much time on it, even though you're a winner.
But you find other things for them for being responsible, though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, so you can just be like, yo, get off that game real quick. Let's go. Just gotta take out the trash. Gotta do this. Gotta do that. Let's get this stuff done. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you can give them things to do that's responsible. Or teachers responsible.
Also that, and just go outside and throw the ball with them. Yeah. Yeah, be a good parent.
Yeah, but I feel like what I'm saying is that what I'm saying though is that sometimes you can say you should be on there an hour, but then it's like there's nothing to do. You're like, I'm just sitting down. There's nothing to do. So if you tell your kid you go play that video game an hour, then you should probably also think of something for them to do and do with them. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Be involved that way instead of just being like, just play that for an hour and then I'm gonna go sit down and watch TV and
get off that and then don't do anything else. Yeah. Be like, give them options.
Yeah.
Because if you're just laying around instead of playing video games, you're not helping yourself either.
Right? Yeah, and you're just gonna be like, this is a stupid rule.
Yeah. Especially when you're watching your parents sit there and watch TV and all. It's like not fair to me.
Yeah, I understand.
I find it kind of ridiculous that parents do tell their kids, you can't play video games, but then you have a limited but they sit there and watch TV or something like that.
They can sit there and watch TV for 2
hours. They'll let you watch
if you
TV
play 2 hours for video games.
Oh yeah. And it's you can only play video games for an hour, but after you're done, you can come up here and watch TV, and it's the same exact thing.
Yeah,
and
video games is actually, in my opinion, better than just watching TV because you're actually.
Yeah.
I mean, they do help in some way.
You're indulged in.
Yeah, and they help with problem solving and stuff like that, and reflexes, yeah.
No, but
we're talking about, I agree, I know what you're saying, but we're talking about, younger kids, growing up.
Well, no, that's the thing, though.
Yeah.
Even younger kids, though, because I'll tell you what shows do your parents watch? Now, it could be different, if, when, this new generation, but
NCIS.
When we were growing up, parents are watching I Love Lucy and Leave It to Beaver and stuff.
Yeah.
And all those are so sexist. There's so many hidden sexist messages that no one even cares about because they just grew up watching it, so they just think this is great.
Yeah, but it's pretty funny.
No, it's great, it's funny, but I'm saying they want to say that video games are bad, and that one thing said that whatever does whatever to women.
Yeah, but if you want to get technical, then you're saying that there's bad things in everything. You can nitpick the heck out of everything.
That's my point. That's my point, though. Yeah. Is that why would a parent say oh, this is bad, but sometimes the alternative they're offering is kind of the same, just in a different way,
Right.
Offer them a healthy alternative before you tell them.
Well, let's be honest.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
There we go.
That's what we boiled this down to. We're not even parents.
Right.
We already got this down.
Take that,
and you have to be honest
with
yourself.
Bring it on, parents.
That's because we've grown up and we have the experience playing video games.
Yeah, we did the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Sat there and played 30 hours a day.
30 hours a day?
Yeah, dude.
I play 30 hours a day every day.
Today? 30 hours a day. That's funny.
Wait, no,
it's possible, right?
Yeah, I could really digress right now, but...
I actually have a time machine. I go back 6 hours every day just to play an extra 6.
What if you're really, really good at a game?
What do you mean?
Are you pro good?
You tell your kid get over it.
That's what I'm talking about. For example, there's this guy in League of Legends. I know none of you, some of you might care about League of Legends.
Yeah.
But his name was African, right? And his parents did not like him playing video games. But he was really, really good. So
he should quit.
He started streaming, and he told his parents, give him 1 month, and after that, he'll quit video games completely. But he started streaming, and he started making, tons of money.
Yeah.
So, if you're that good, do you think there should be a limit to how much you should play? Or,
I think at that point, we can actually branch this off. What do you guys feel?
Actually making a career out of
your kid, imagine this, your kid comes up to you and says, I'm going to go play professional games for a living. What do you tell them?
Well, no, I got the answer for this, because I would love to, if I have a kid, right? I don't, but if I did, I imagine myself wanting to support them in whatever they're doing, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I played, basketball, and, my parents supported me through that, a lot more than they probably should have. But if I have a kid, whatever he wants to do, I'd want to support it. So, if a kid, if I did have a kid, it's like, yo, I want to play video games and I'm really good or whatever. First of all, I'd be like, show me. You know what I'm saying? And I'd hear him out and, I want to support him. But then you have to make sure, as with anything, that you try to help them understand how to engage in that. You can't, even though you need to put in time, but you can't, because at that point it wouldn't even become recreation. It'd be like I say, look, you got to work at this if you want it.
Yeah.
And so whenever you do it really well. Mm-hmm. But then you also have to handle your other parts of life, and you also have to realize if you get sucked into this thing, it can affect your life negatively. So don't let, you know what I'm saying? You'd have to try to give them the understanding and the wisdom to be like, if you want to do this, you can't just let this become just your life. You have to be able to do this and do that, and the possibility of a backup plan and stuff. That's what I would do.
Okay, but
a lot of people.
I would say by that point, in their life, if they're good enough to become a professional streamer.
Maybe in that case. But what if you were watching your kid play games, and you realize that this kid's amazing at video games? A prodigy.
Yeah.
Okay. You look over his shoulder and he's incredible.
Okay.
Would you limit his time then?
How old?
Or would you extend
how
it?
How old he is?
Well, let's say he's 12. Let's say he's 12 years old, and he's amazing at the game.
I tell him he's a nerd and he needs to get a life.
No, okay. In the back of your head, you're like, this guy, my kid could actually do something with games. Would you still limit him to an hour a day, or would you?
I would limit him.
Well, I wouldn't say.
Look.
I would say by 12. Oh, I don't know. Like I said earlier, it's different.
You don't limit him. You discuss with him, and you kind of figure out, and you do some research, and you figure out what maybe a good, healthy amount for him to play would be, because you can't let him have a worse life. You can't let him affect his body negatively.
If I was already limiting him, I wouldn't stop. You know what I'm saying?
Not altogether.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah. I wouldn't just change it. But look, I saw Brandon take out the trash when he was 12. He was really good at taking down trash when he was 12. That doesn't mean he's going to become a garbage man. That just means he's good at doing something.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I like that analogy.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, Brandon.
A fair point.
But counter argument, Stu really went to that mailbox super well,
Dude, I'm a pro.
He used to go get that mail.
And that's good. That's good. But it's not like they were out being like, oh, you were really good at that mail. You need to go pick up the mail twice as much as you do now because I want to prepare you to be a mailman.
Right.
Because you stopping their limit, that's saying, hey, I'm pushing you towards video game.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm not against limiting. That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying, would you limit them as much?
No, probably not.
At 12 years old,
would you change the amount you limit them?
No, I wouldn't change.
I'd say pick up a basketball, you nerd. All right.
Yeah. Go throw a football.
Yeah, I feel like at 12,
baseball.
Jesus Christ. I feel like if you see that, like you said, Prodigy, he's really good at 12, 13 years old. Okay, I think if I really thought he could pursue that, I would sit him down. He or she, I would sit him or her down.
Whatever she's feeling that day.
Yeah.
He or she. Yeah, whatever she.
Different podcast. But I would sit them down and I would have a good talk with them and explain to them, kind of like what you said, how you need to pursue this.
I think,
and also you don't need to spend.
This doesn't need to be.
Yeah, I would lighten up the limit. Limit. There you go.
I would
limit on it, but I wouldn't say that. I would just let him do whatever he wants to for 12 hours a day.
Okay.
Yeah. Go for it, kid. I don't care. Ruin your life.
Yeah. I agree with that. But at the same time, let's say that you noticed that he was really good at a sport, like basketball, for example.
Yeah, you would want to.
Most parents would push their kid.
Yeah, most parents
in that direction.
Well, see, the thing about it though, because I can talk on this subject. Because the thing about sports is it's not in your house instant access, right? And there's no. Oh Lord, there's no real negative effect to going outside and shooting basketball at night, you know, other than like you might swallow a bug or something. You know what I'm saying? Like that builds your body up, whereas sitting in a chair playing video games wears your body down. So there is a negative effect that comes with just sitting and stuff that naturally that isn't there with a lot of sports, which makes it kind of a hard comparison. But you would still, whenever you look at your kid and say, look, if you want to go for this, you got to go for it. And you got to, when you do it, you got to do it well. But understand you have to get your business done first. You have to get your school done first. You have to, you know, manage your relationships first. And, you know, like what's the God, family, whatever, you or something, I don't know. Is that how it works? But anyways, so that's what you would say. You would still make sure that they had the right priorities before that sport or whatever.
Yeah.
Just like you would with the video game. But the time limit is a concerning factor just because you don't want your kid completely sucked into something like that.
That's right.
Especially
because it can wear your body down.
And
that's
like you guys are pointing out, it's really age dependent because obviously if they're 12, then you're going to limit it a lot more than if they were like 16 or 17, about to become adults. It's going to turn more into advice than it would really limiting them.
Yeah, because at that point they would have the responsibility and they would know.
At that point they know better, and if
I did
they're
limit
like that at 16, then they're going to be like that at 18 probably. You know,
because the time limit's not about saying I don't think you can do it or that you shouldn't do it. The time limit's just
make sure they don't neglect
to make sure you do the other stuff. You know what I'm saying? If they start doing the other stuff, you might not need the time limit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you notice your kid's doing everything on time and getting his school done, then if he stays on for 2.5 hours, maybe 3, you probably wouldn't say anything because he's doing his stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Start giving him more and more in, like, moderation is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, you just, you know, because the important part is not like that you play just an hour. The important part is that you get everything done first and that your life's still, you know, productive in other ways.
So many people who, like, are, like, good at video games and all, and they just drop everything. They stop going to college.
Yeah.
They move out to a random house, and they just drop everything and start there. It's kind of like, I wouldn't want my kid to do that. I'd want this kid to know he needs a backup plan.
Like, are you talking about them, like, going pro or something like that? Like, dropping out of college to go pro?
Yeah, like, going
because,
to,
I mean,
like, a
basketball players do that, too.
Well, I know that. Except
it's still a bad idea.
Wait,
it's still bad.
I'm not disagreeing, but I'm saying
they don't drop out of school. They have to go to school. That's the thing. You know, like if you're a basketball player,
you can get drafted before you finish school.
Well, a better comparison would be Albert Einstein, who didn't even graduate high school.
I thought you can get drafted as a junior.
I mean, you can, but
I thought in basketball they made the rule where you have to play college basketball for at least 1 year before you can get drafted. And I guess there is. I'm assuming you can enter the draft without having played college basketball, but in some way, but there'd still be like an age deal, and there would still be a lot of red tape.
And my thing, I don't agree with people dropping out and like going one and done in basketball. I think you should always finish what you started.
Well, I'm not disagreeing, but I'm saying, like, okay, so what I'm saying, I guess, I'm comparing esports to real sports.
Okay.
Like, I'm saying, okay, so you're faulting the video gamers for dropping out and going pro, but at the same time, actual sports do that. Though. Oh no, I'm not disagreeing, but I'm, you know.
Well, the thing about it, okay, is like, well, that's what I'm looking at. Is because the way I'm seeing what you're saying is that like, some kids drop out of school or take time off of school because they have the idea that they want to be in an esports deal, not that they got an esports deal. You know,
like okay, yeah.
If someone's like, "Hey, you can play for this team and make this much money, but you're gonna have to drop out of school," and I have a kid that's like in that situation, that's different than maybe a kid that just doesn't want to do school because he's addicted to video games and thinks he can go pro, so he drops out. And
see that I disagree with.
There you go.
But like, if you get an offer or something like that.
Oh, dude, I'd be dropping out.
I wouldn't.
Obviously,
you dropped out to be a mailman, so.
But like, because you don't know.
Life is good, bro.
There have been people who go one and done from college. They play 1 year in the NBA, and then they're so bad they never get to play again. What do you do with your life after that?
Go back to college.
I mean, yeah.
If you're not broke.
Yeah, if you're not broke by
then.
Live in
disappointment, depression, drink alcohol, and
eventually
end up ending it all.
Numb the pain any way you can.
Isn't it amazing though?
I heard
how often like football players and basketball players, or ex-football players, basketball players, like go bankrupt and stuff.
Oh yeah, because they don't know what to do without money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They had no backup plan.
And I've actually heard
threw it all away.
it's a big topic. I've heard people actually say that. I think Charles Barkley was saying it. He was saying how like he felt like kids need to be taught more, how to handle money, because when they get into the league and they have them, like some of them didn't even go to college before they made that rule. They went out of high school and it's like, then you have all this money. What do you do?
Yeah. Well, that's a lot of people were saying that they would rather in high school the math be more like teaching you how to handle money and all, than teaching you like formulas and stuff.
More practical application, basically. Yeah.
That just makes
things
too much
that
sense.
because
like right now, I know how to figure out a third angle of a right triangle, but I don't know how to like settle my bank account, like do my taxes, do anything like that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Neither do I, and I'm I'm a sophomore in college, and I don't have any idea how to do taxes.
Well, now one math school that I went to.
Went to junior.
Yeah, I mean that's an entirely different subject. But one math class I went to in college, the only one actually for my degree, it actually had budgets and budgeting involved in it, and it talked about loans and things like that. So I mean, there was some actual like practical application in my math class.
Yeah, I actually in high school at North, I had a business class that actually taught us things like that, some basics. But the problem was, the teacher was off her rocker, and literally she called like every other day she was calling the assistant principal to come yell at this girl. That's always a problem, instead of just ignoring her and teaching the rest of us stuff. So we didn't really learn it. Like we had to teach ourselves, So it was really difficult.
Well, my thing is, I think it should be a required class that everyone should have to take.
Yeah, it should be a general ed, right?
Yeah. Because that's something you need in life.
Agreed.
Like some people don't need math. Some people don't need science for their profession, but everyone needs to know how to work with their money. And
I tell you what, some people don't get anything from math. Like I generally understand math. I'm pretty good at it, and so whenever I like learn math, sometimes I'm like, oh, this makes sense, and this I can see how this kind of actually relates to things in life. But some people, they just don't work that way, so it doesn't help them at all. In fact, just makes them mad. So, kind of.
They used to have driver's ed class, like in high school, and you got like a half a credit or whatever for doing it. Yeah,
that's a good idea though, because
cool.
Learning how to drive well is actually very important.
It like lasted a semester.
You get a lot more learning.
Yeah,
right now it's what, a 3-day class.
It's like 4-day class that's like 9 hours long.
Exactly.
Every day.
Do you think that like what's the death rate or the collision rate like went up when they stopped doing that? You think there's a connection?
Probably. People drive pretty stupid.
Yeah, but also it's kind of there. But then you also have to figure the population of America is growing. So there's more people that crash every year.
Yeah,
there's a lot
more factors. But I think if it was every other factor was
in a vacuum, at the same time, video games are making kids more stupid. So. And we go full circle. We brought it back
Brandon has just now been kicked out. Everyone say goodbye to Brandon.
Kicked out? I'm just kidding. I'm the only one talking what we're supposed to be talking about.
I mean, it's fine. We were venting. It was nice.
I know.
I actually completely lost the scope of the conversation.
Dave, I've been like sitting here watching you because you've been like slowly not talking.
If you were,
and you're just like sitting here, just like thinking.
Just edit this in. If you wanted to just hear about video games, skip to doop boop boop. And then put the number.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah, annotate it.
You guys keep talking about your school crap. Driver's ed. We were talking about driver's ed.
Oh yeah, that's what we were talking about.
Speaking of driving and American people driving and video games, I watched this video of this dude that like thought
nothing to do with video games.
I watched this video of this dude. It was like from a police helicopter, and this dude was like running from the cops, and he honestly thought he was like in GTA. Like he ran up to a car, like opened up the door yanked the person out, and they rolled. and he stole their car. You know
That's-
what I'm saying? Like
See,
just like you do.
Like I would
in the
dare that
game.
dude to try that on me. Like
And he did
I
it.
want him to.
Dude, he did it like 3
do that,
times.
man.
He
You
did
can't
like
do
3
that.
different cars, and they're all like crappy cars.
Did he
You do
do
that
it
to the
while they
wrong
were
guy.
driving down that? I do that all
Yo,
the time
he
with
like
GTA.
he like run he
Like
like ran
GTA.
into him to make
Yeah,
him
you see-
stop, and then he like hopped out and switched cars.
That's a
See,
good
like,
tactic.
No, that's terrible.
No,
The police
GTA
helicopters right
no,
above us.
GTA tactic is you park sideways on the highway and you wait for like a Lamborghini to drive up, and you're like, yeah, that's mine, and then you drive around the car. That's what you do.
You know, in Mercenaries, you just throw people off bikes.
Yeah, you just
Stay
run
on
until
the
you
road.
grab
and you
him.
What
just
the
tra-
heck is Mercenaries?
Oh, dude, it's a
Old game.
It's an old Xbox game. Yeah.
It was the
You were a mercenary.
pre GTA.
Yeah, it was.
It's what
But yeah,
GTA
well,
stole.
No, it was not
Around the
GT
same time, probably. I
Yeah,
think. Just like
because
PS2.
GTA was for the PS2. And stuff.
Yeah.
But that's hysterical. I mean,
That's
it-
ridiculous.
It's terrible.
Regardless,
but-
you
I
don't
was
try
watching
that in
that
southern
video,
states,
and I was
right?
like, "Wow, how is he? He
All
did
right,
so
all right.
much damage to so many cars."
Looping back to a round, do you think he did that because he played GTA? Do you think the video games influenced his
Honest to
decision?
goodness,
Dude's
Yeah.
probably
If-
never
yeah.
played GTA.
if bro,
That'd be funny though.
if bro, I mean, I don't know, but if he had ever played the game, that's totally what was going through his brain. He was like,
Oh, yeah,
he's
he's
like,
like,
dude,
this
I did
is
this on
fun."
GTA all the time.
So is it the video game's fault?
Yeah.
no, but it's,
Well,
it's
no,
his fault for being crazy.
It's not the video game's
No,
fault.
it's the video game's fault.
Look,
Explain.
Look,
Hold
how
on,
is it the
he's
video
obviously
game's
fault.
Okay, look, here's the
Explain.
thing. Because without the video game, he doesn't have the knowledge of running into cars and pulling them out. And
If
getting them
he's
driving.
messed up in the head enough to pull,
Wait, hold up.
No. But here's the thing.
and
If
try to
he's messed
yank
up in the
him
head,
out.
sure, he's messed up in the head. I agree with you on that.
yeah,
But you said in his head, you felt like he was imagining GTA. So if he had never played GTA, he wouldn't be imagining that and thus doing that act. He
agree
might do
with
something else crazy,
yeah.
but it wouldn't be that.
Yeah,
It's not
that's what I'm saying. I
solely
don't-
the video game's fault, but the video game gave him the idea.
There you
so
go.
you could blame it.
I
The
mean,
video game.
honestly,
Well,
I
the
don't
idea,
see-
the
Yeah.
action.
I don't know because
Well, there's no confirmation that he had played.
I mean, the
GTA,
the
but
thing about that is that
the
like,
caption of the video was, "Bro thought he was in GTA or whatever," and he like was yanking people out of the car just like it looked like when you play the game.
he was probably
But-
doped up on something. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah, I was
actually
about to
thought
say
he
he's
was
probably
playing
on meth.
He
and he's-
looked
he
messed
probably has never ever played. played
Or if he did, he
GTA.
didn't remember.
But,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
there's an Eminem lyric that says something about whatever people complain about his music and stuff. But then he was still at a Schwarzenegger movie. He used mowing people down with a Uzi. So it's basically just like other things are just as bad.
oh
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? So,
like if you play games and they're like violent, like yeah, it might introduce you to violence, but like you're gonna see it other places. It's not like video games are the
Well, I'm not
sole place.
Yeah,
where
I'm not saying
violence-
this guy wouldn't have
Also-
been that way if he never played a video game in life. I'm saying that
yeah,
if he played the video game, it could have been an influence on
Oh,
his
maybe,
action.
but like okay,
definitely was.
okay,
Yeah.
but Fast and Furious that has stuff like that in it.
Well, I'm not.
Like
I'm not saying
you watch a
true.
movie and you're gonna see stuff like that, and you're gonna be like, that's just like Fast and Furious.
Yeah,
or something
but
like that.
he wasn't
Yeah.
drag
Like-
racing. He was pulling people out of cars and driving off.
Well, maybe, but like you get what I'm saying. Like, yeah, video games may introduce you to stuff like that, but like movies
Still see
have
it.
crazy stuff like that.
I guess.
Yeah,
I guess the argument though is that like in a video game you're actually doing it. You know what I'm saying? And so you also identify the characters in movies as well. So because when you watch a Wolverine movie, you're just like you're that dude for a second. You know what I'm saying?
Or the
You
little
put
girl who
yourself
goes
in
way
the
hammer.
Yeah, you. What?
I said, or the little girl who goes
Their
a lot
claws in
more
her
ham.
feet.
Oh, dude, she goes ham in Logan. If you plug
I
for
have not seen
for the movie Logan, if you haven't seen, I think it's on DVD now, so go buy it. It's amazing.
No
It's
spoilers, don't worry.
amazeballs.
It's amazeballs. It will not let you
Well,
down.
unless you didn't know there's a little girl in it. There's a little girl in it, by the way.
Hey, it's very gory too. You guys should probably include that. It does promote violence.
It is rated R.
Well, okay.
It's
but
rated
also-
R.
Has a good
Look,
message though.
beware.
Has a good message.
Look back around. There's also a reason why there are like age.
Yeah.
What do
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
what do you call
ratings.
it? Like
Ratings.
stamped ratings. There you go. Age ratings stamped
ESPR.
on the label
ESPR
of the
ratings.
video game. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
but another thing
Well,
is
that's
that
why I can't-
parents don't look at that before they buy the games. Their kids say they want this games, and they just go in and buy it without looking.
Right.
Yeah, you got little squeakers playing
Oh
colors.
yeah,
Blowing,
Like,
blowing people's heads off. I mean,
like that's the parents don't even care. Like
Yeah.
okay, so video games go through all this trouble.
Of course they don't care.
Well,
They got drugs to buy.
okay, so you can argue that video games promote violence and do all this stuff, but video games
also have
they
ratings.
put in precautions. They have ratings.
Yeah.
Where you have to be 17 and older. Then,
See, that's
like
what I'm
Call of
getting.
Duty, where you could censor out that whole
There's
scene where they go gun up the airport. You
Yeah.
can completely
Oh, yeah.
censor that out.
Yeah,
And you can also, in a lot of games, you can get rid of gore. But the thing
here's my
is that
thing.
parents don't.
Pay attention to that.
They don't pay attention. They don't
Yeah,
My
mine.
thing-
monitor that enough.
Is that parents will be like, oh, here's this M-rated game, go play, have fun. And then you'll be like, oh, a PG-13 movie? No, you're too young for that.
Yeah, good point.
yeah.
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah, dude, when I was growing up, man, I used to get so aggravated about it.
Yeah.
You know, my parents.
But now it's like
my-
it's cool.
Yeah, my
Makes
mom
sense.
would totally like look at every single like rating on every game that I wanted.
Yeah.
And honestly, she would like really study hard on a like rated teen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. My mom did
If
too.
if I was like
Yeah.
12, if I was like 11 or 12 or whatever, if it said like T for teen or whatever,
Yeah.
and she would still like study on it hard and like read the description on the bag and stuff
Oh, yeah.
before she
Go
buy it.
watch gameplay, like, oh no, they're shooting in this game. Steve, no. Yes,
Well,
is no.
back then they probably like smartphones
Well-
probably weren't even a thing.
Yeah.
Like
probably
my
even
mom was
watch
really strict
gameplay.
about it too,
Computer
but even she
Yeah,
bought
but not at
me-
the store. Not at the store looking it up. You know what
Oh,
I'm saying?
yeah, no, I'm still saying, like,
Well, you had to make the decision right then.
no,
Yeah.
like, mommy would be like, hey, mom, can I get this game before you go to the store? And then she'd be
But-
like, let me look it
Oh,
up.
a
that's
lot of
good.
parents don't even check. Like I've walked in GameStop before and I've just seen
Yeah, they just buy it.
little
yeah.
kids pick up Call of Duty and their mom just buys it, and it's like,
It's on you, parents. Get your
but
stuff
like
straight.
that's
what's
what I'm
up?
saying.
Okay,
Like,
going back,
Mom.
they
what
just
was-
play a
Well-
role in it, not saying that there's a
what was
source.
it? Mom junction.
No, it's
But
all your
also-
fault. It's all your fault.
like I was saying earlier,
Yeah.
games do include precautions. Like there are a lot of games where you can take out gore and you can take out these. Like that scene in Call of Duty
Wonder if
was
there's a-
terrible,
That's a
It was terrible.
scene.
but they included it because it was part of the story.
And at the same time, they put a warning on it
Oh, yeah,
beforehand, and
exactly.
they allowed you to skip it.
Yeah,
And
But if a
here's
parent
my
wasn't
thing.
watching, you
And-
think a kid would skip it?
I didn't.
And in addition to
I
that,
Even if-
I did.
Exactly.
Here's the
Kids are
thing.
just gonna hit. Yeah, I want to play the scene.
yeah, but at the same time, they demonized it. They made it look bad. They, and they, it's obviously a very terrible thing that they did, and that's you're basically playing as the antagonist, and you're trying to kill this person afterwards. So I mean, it detaches you from it.
The big thing is though
Shoot
is
up a whole
that you
airport.
are playing a person that shoots, and you're supposed to do that.
Yeah, but at the same time,
That was a good
it's
thing.
not. It's not a video game where you go and you shoot up a school and your goal is to kill as many people as possible. Like,
Yeah.
which would be way
It's
more
not,
darker
not,
than
not
what
the
would actually
purpose of the
happen.
video game.
My
it's
thing-
part
Yeah,
of the
exactly.
story.
Is that
Part
even
of
if
the
the
story.
parents
But
ignored the little rating on the box and just bought it for you, and they should still watch over you some. Like you shouldn't just be like playing video games on the console all day and they never like when you're younger.
Because
Yeah.
They should see. Like,
Yeah, and at the same time, violence is just not only a part of society, but just a part of life. So I mean, you can't completely shelter your
No,
kid from
like
violence because that's doing him a whole nother disservice.
True.
like I said, you can try. You can shelter them
just
from the video game. but
Introduce it
yeah.
in moderation. You don't be like, oh, here's a rated R movie and
Oh, yeah.
you made a
Like,
game.
You don't want them to be
Go have
appalled
fun.
at every scene of
Well,
violence that they
even-
possibly see.
Yeah.
yeah.
Even PG movies are getting more and more violent. Like
yeah.
PG-13 movies are a
Right.
lot more
And
violent
it's
than
gonna
they
get
were
worse and worse.
years ago.
Yeah.
I was watching one the other day that literally PG-13 had nudity in it.
Oh,
I'm
no
not
kidding.
lying.
Really?
Yes.
Was it just like?
No, it was like a second, and she was like behind a curtain, but you could see it.
Wow.
When was the movie?
It was
Wow,
called. It's
made?
Deja Vu. Deja Vu. You saw her in the shower naked, but it was PG-13.
Like the
Paused it,
outline?
didn't he?
You mean? Because you said she was behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, I was watching it with Casey actually.
Oh,
Matthews.
I didn't get it.
But-
Anyway,
But like
Take
that's what I'm saying.
yeah,
Like,
because like back like 10, 15 years ago, you get a PG-13 rating just for having like one cuss word in it. It'd be like,
Oh yeah, and you couldn't
PG-13.
F-bomb.
Yeah,
At
you
all.
get F-bomb, rated R immediately.
exactly.
Yeah.
But like nowadays,
One F word, you get an R rating. Like
Mhm.
that's
Oh,
not
yeah.
even a thing now.
Now it's
No.
like every other sentence in PG-13 movies.
There-
Up.
there are cuss words in PG movies. And I think it's
There's
crazy
cuss
how
words
much.
on. There's cuss words on commercials now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were up there watching the game.
I heard it. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah,
oh, that's
it was
interesting.
like Taco Bell's commercials cuss. Like
Really?
and that's a frequent commercial.
But
Taco Bell.
going back to what you said, you can't stop people from seeing violence. Like it's
Yeah,
gonna be in
right.
almost every movie, and
Well, it's just a part of life. People-
Exactly.
People do bad things to each other.
I'll tell you what.
yeah.
I'll tell you what. Though, here's
Can't-
the
but
deal, though.
that's a whole nother
here's,
debate,
Here's something
but-
that's funny though. You know, right? Because I feel it's always going to be a problem. Because we're sitting here saying that like that's the way it is, and some of our parents would probably actually disagree and say no, this and that. But even though we might feel this way,
It's getting a little smaller.
and if
Anyway.
all right, Dakota, if you know, so when we have kids or whatever, we'll not do that, but we probably will do something else that to them seems ridiculous, just because everything changes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like, because
change.
we, you know, when did you guys get live, right? Like, when were your parents okay with you talking to people and playing with people?
Oh no, dude, when I first got live, they like blocked me from talking to people.
Yeah, but my parents are always like super paranoid that like they could find out where you are based off
Yeah,
that.
like
They didn't let me get MySpace until I was like 14.
Yeah, see, like that was basically just based on I don't want to say paranoia.
It was
but
new
just,
though. It was a new thing.
Just lack of knowledge on the subject more than
Yeah.
it was trying to shelter you from.
Yeah,
I turned
Like
it all
that.
off, by the way.
But then now
I found out how to turn it all off. So I
So
can
it's
talk
like
to
if you
people.
had a kid, you know, it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
like they can come find you if you give them. Live.
but you really can't. Like, there are things you can do. It's just a lot of people.
Yeah.
You can get an IP. I think that's pretty much the best you can.
It's like the more you go.
But things
into-
like Facebook and stuff, like if you put where you are,
yeah.
and iPhones are traceable and stuff. But there has to be a real crazy person, you know. But
Yeah.
yes, but I just feel like there's going to be something though for us that's going to be new, and we're going to do something because we don't think it's right.
So
But
you
then to
like-
the kids, it's going to be ridiculous.
You can introduce them to stuff, I guess. You just have to make sure you teach them how to be safe. That's the thing.
Yeah, and hope they listen, right?
Yeah. They don't, beat them upside the
Or
head.
you just be like Liam Neeson. I'm gonna find you.
Yeah, I'm not good at hide and seek, so that wouldn't work for me.
But anyway, yeah, I'm pretty sure we covered that pretty good. Cause I mean, on the back. Okay, I went to Micah's house. He had the new game, The Witcher or whatever.
Yeah.
And I started like a character from the beginning. Very first scene, there's nudity
Oh yeah.
in like the video game. Like she's laying there naked.
Why did you get that game?
Isn't
The
that like
Witcher or
what-
something
what-
like
what
that?
that's
game?
rated?
Yeah, The
Huh?
Witcher.
Did you pause it?
Was it The Witcher?
It didn't show anything in the front. It just showed it in the back.
You're talking about
Oh, that's the best part. Anyway.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I had that.
Story, is that it?
Anyway, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you can't buy.
Cut.
You can't buy like a mature game for a kid, and the first thing that pops up is that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
yeah.
Well, don't
That's
buy
the
mature game for your
problem.
kid.
Not these
That's the
days.
problem.
I'm pretty sure there's partial nudity of a video game figure in Assassin's Creed as well.
probably.
There is.
Yeah, they
Well,
get it
those-
on, and then they get
those
attacked,
prostitutes.
and he has to zip up and get out and kill some
Well,
people.
here's my
Yeah,
thing.
there is.
Nowadays, you have the resources. You can look up how bad a game is that's rated M for mature. So if like your kid like really harp on you, like, oh, I want this game, you can get online. You can be like, yo, what does this have
Yeah,
that
you
makes
pretty
it
much see
rated
exactly what it has.
Like
Yeah.
how you're making the type-in thing with your hand.
M? Typing, dude.
Here's something that's something you may have find interesting. It's also on the same article that we found on Mom Junction,
Mom
Yo,
Junction.
which begs the question:
Maybe we
where's
should just
Dad
get all our
Junction?
articles from Mom Junction.
That's right.
But I mean,
Sexist.
what? But it says it's a new header. It says symptoms of video game addiction, and one of the second one is play in secret. Your teen will start playing in secret or will lie to you about how long he or she has been playing. He either
Oh, no.
will lie. Actually, this is funny. At first, he put how long he or she, and then the second one it says he will either lie blatantly or find ways to hide when he is playing. He will also make excuses to play video
Wow.
games. So they tried for the pronouns, but
Yeah,
but
they
failed.
tried.
They forgot.
Which it's not that we care because we're not offended because men, majority of the time, are the ones that are addicted to video games.
You're a
true.
sexist.
Well, it's
Yeah,
just funny
I
because
guess
it's just funny because it's Mom Junction.
Yeah. Because it's like they're trying to be non-biased, but they're just like
No,
they
my
just
kid
give it-
sucks.
Yeah, she's sitting there.
Whoever's
she's like-
typing this just can't
She's
take
like, she's
Yeah.
typing it. She's like, oh, gotta add both, so I don't know what I'm talking about. And then,
But in that
back in her
sentence,
mind,
she's getting heated.
Yeah, she's like, oh my gosh, he's making me so mad. He's playing all the time.
she loses it. It's like personal experience.
He's like, Jimmy, oh, you make me so mad.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure you can pick up when your kid's addicted to video games.
Yeah. You
Oh
should know
yeah,
that.
if they're playing in secret, obviously, Stu, they're addicted.
But yeah, but how? You know, I hate to say how realistic is that, but like,
How you find out if your kid's playing in secret? Hey, hey,
how do you?
Hey,
no,
you playing
My
in
thing is,
secret?
how do you not know when your kid's playing?
Yeah,
in
it ain't
secret?
gonna be in your house.
Yeah, you know what
So,
I'm
I mean,
saying.
what don't you have a right to know like what your kid is
Yeah.
doing in
Can
your
you,
house?
like,
Chances are you bought the.
You didn't-
Pay attention enough to know when stuff goes. Like
Yeah.
if the input's different, bro's playing
Well,
video games.
You got to see that probably a lot of
'Cause
parents
look,
are just
look.
really naive about their kids.
Here's the thing.
What they do.
You're in the house with them. Bad. You know what room they're in. All right, so you know what resources are in the room. So if the kid goes to his room, all he has in there is a TV and an Xbox and like a couple books. And he's locked in his room for 4 hours. What do you think? He's just reading those books?
Yeah, Jimmy's probably reading books. I mean,
Jimmy's sitting there reading books.
He's a good kid. As long as he's out of my hair, I don't give a
but but no, but
well, I mean that's kind of how it is, though.
But anyways, yeah, no, they kind of
parents don't really.
But
keep
I tell you
up
the thing
with
about
their
it is,
kids.
we were never allowed to have like TVs in our room or anything.
Yeah.
So
it was always in the
So it was in our Xbox
living
and
room
PlayStation was in our living room on the only TV we had.
Oh yeah, same.
That's
so
how ours was.
now the people screens and stuff are everywhere, and it's just kind of.
Oh yeah, there's like 5 TVs in a house.
Yeah, I think when I come
there's even a commercial about it with Mark Wahlberg, which is a very good commercial, by the way. Look it up.
Well, I mean, they promote it. They're like,
yes, everywhere, little kids thing.
Yeah, little kids.
Well, I mean, like TV companies promote it. They're like, hey, you can have a DVR in 4 different rooms in your house.
Yeah, but so
the Hopper with 7
it's an
rooms?
easy, simple
Like,
solution.
who needs 7 rooms of TV?
An easy, simple solution to know, like if your kid's addicted, is just have one TV, or just be like, yo, you're not gonna have a TV in there.
That's what my thing. Until they're like 15 or something, what's the real point of them having like a computer in their room?
Yeah.
Because like unless in school,
I really have.
You have that IBM.
Yeah, the IBM that can connect to the internet.
He can play Minesweep. He can play Minesweep all day.
Yeah,
I can just.
Is it still lag?
No, anyway.
He's addicted to Minesweep.
There's lag.
My kid's been sitting in his room playing Minesweep for 14 hours.
Unless like school is addicted. So like technology centered that like when they start out in like 2nd grade, they're like already using computers. Then there's no reason for a kid to have a computer in the room at that age.
I agree. Because we used to just have one desktop. And that was
yeah.
It sucked, so.
I was just smack Brad on the head, like, hey, yo, it's my turn. You know? I want to play.
Dude, we had an IBM pretty close to how yours is.
Mini clip.
But I think that is a really good solution. It's just have like maybe not just one TV, but like if you're having a gaming session, just stick it in the living room. Because not like obviously you can limit their time, and it also brings you guys closer.
Yeah.
And mine is still in our living room.
Yeah.
I could put it upstairs. I've done it before, but I like the bigger TV.
I mean, Xbox is in the living room upstairs.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, but at the same time, like if you have one TV and one, your chances are you're gonna be in the room with them while they're playing because
it's a living room.
And at the same time, I think that should be up to a certain age because
that's what we were saying. We were saying
eventually,
like 15.
Eventually it gets to a point where they're trying to be independent. You have to let them be independent.
And that goes back to what we were talking about earlier, though, is whenever you know that your kid has a good handle on responsibility, then you can be like,
right.
But also, like, not give them, like, 100% free reign, like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, because it's still your house.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Don't straight.
Here's the thing. Don't give your kids a lock on their door.
I have a lock on my door.
I'm saying, like, when you're going in, obviously don't just barge in. I'd say knock.
Don't let them lock the door. They'll play video games.
Yeah, no, it's just like these parents are complaining because their kids are locked in their room all day and they can't get in.
Well, my mom used to be like pissed if the door was locked.
Oh yeah,
like she'd be real upset. Like real, and it could be like an accident. Like so you accidentally lock it on the way. And
it'd be just like irrationally upset.
I can understand that though. Like you don't know what they're doing in there, and there's no way to find out if it's locked. Like they could be doing something like
you could knock.
And what if they're like, no, not right now, Mom? What are you gonna do?
You're gonna open the door.
You're gonna.
You can pull your pants.
Except I've been like legit changing clothes.
Because like you can knock when there's not. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying knock every time the door's closed, obviously.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like, also I don't see the point of having up until a certain age, obviously have a lock. You can have a lock, but like up until that age, I don't think it's.
Well, I say just if they say just hold on just a minute, just let them.
I think you gotta understand though that you gotta not control that much because you gotta understand that the kids are gonna do stupid freaking things and they're gonna if it's like a lot and it like seems to be like a problem and affects their behavior, you gotta figure something out, I guess. But if it's just like every now and then, just figure it's something they're just working through, and as long as they're still being responsible and their stuff done and they still have a good attitude, they're still in a good they're still them.
Yeah,
I wouldn't worry about it. But
that's whatever.
Yeah. This is not a parenting.
Well,
podcast.
We're not parenting 101. We know nothing.
So. All right, cool. So that's the end of this podcast. we're hoping to try to get a podcast out every week. So please subscribe. Please stay tuned to our channel and everything.
We're not promising everyone's going to be 2 hours long. So
right. Also, we're gonna change the subjects up different weeks for like each person is going to try to find an article, something that we can discuss, kind of like we did tonight.
Keep it rolling.
And just keep it rolling. Just keep the discussion going. Keep it interesting.
Also, let us know in the comments what you want to hear about.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. That'd be really
you
sweet.
give us ideas.
Yeah, that would help out a whole lot. Make it more entertaining for y'all. Make it better for us, and everybody's just more happy that way. So we appreciate you listening. Everybody, please have a blessed day, and we love you.
All right, play me out.
Howdy.